First of all, it is very interesting to see that a Carnatic musician of your stature is coming together and collaborating with a physicist like myself on as complex and integral a subject for our society as faith. So I'm really excited to have this conversation, and I would request you to start with laying out what this faith project is about.
The word faith we come across very often in our daily conversations. Most times, I believe it is colored or misunderstood as religious faith, and that is something which divides people, divides the societies. Personally, for me, this is an inward journey where I am silently observing, trying to understand the emotion behind faith. We are not trying to be prescriptive that this is faith or this is what you need to believe, but rather through this process of self-discovery, we are trying to just lay out our observations where we are open to all the interpretations of faith. We're trying to lay it out on the table and try to create an inclusive approach where we are not separating any views, we're not rejecting any views, but rather trying to embrace all views on faith.
And I would add to that, probably there is quite a substantial scope and even need to do that.
Mm-hmm. So the faith project as such is about celebrating the sons and daughters of the soil. Now, what do we mean by sons and daughters of the soil? The farmers, the fishermen, the housewives, the daily wage earners, all of these people, I believe, are the foundation of our society. They move the huge wheel called society. Now, most often, the privileged few like all of us actually don't even acknowledge their presence. They're not celebrated. So this project is about celebrating the sons and daughters of the soil, the so-called ordinary people. When we look at their lives, they go through various hardships, insurmountable pains in their lives. But at the end of the day, there is a smile on the face with the hope that tomorrow is going to be a better day. And there are several songs of faith which they sing, which have been handed over to them generation after generation. This project is about singing those songs, which is devoid of any religion, caste, gender, or geography. Singing songs from different parts of the country, traversing communities, religions, and celebrating these songs of the sons and daughters of the soil.
And also about creating many conversations, hearing out the stories, the different perspectives that lay around them,
Yes.
which will be a huge part of
In
this
fact,
project.
during this period of 12 months, which we are going to have this project running, we would like to hear sharings from different people, maybe the housemaids, auto rickshaw drivers, scientists, artists, intellectuals, about what faith is for them. Conversations which help us understand faith from everyone's perspective, non-believers also. And there is going to be a sincere attempt to create intersections where the so-called privileged few actually understand and interact with the so-called ordinary people. Another intersection which I would say is very important is the so-called sophisticated forms of music, the classical traditions of India, actually conversing with the folk traditions or the music of the sons of the soil, sons and daughters of the soil. So there are various intersections which we would like to create.
I would like to add to that maybe. There will be two more big layers of intersections that we can really look forward to. One will be that the intersection between those who are steeped in faith, or they at least through their lives live a life of being in faith, and those also who may not have the need of doing so. Maybe there are people, many of like me and my fraternity where we are coming from, who will keep questioning. They will have questions about what faith is actually. But there has to be an intersection where these two kind of people can come together and have conversations. Also, there is another important aspect that I always feel is very challenging, is to find an intersection between what is so-called intellectual and what is actually experiential. Because often what is experiential is not necessarily comprehensible. So I feel this project can really get us close to many of these dimensions that we are very honestly trying to attempt to approach.
Very true.
Yes.
I'm very excited. Are you?
Looking forward to it. So the next important thing to ask will be, what is faith to you as such? And also I would like to really know, have your sharing, has the concept of faith that you have grown up with changed over the time? Has there been an evolution of it?
So let me start from the very beginning. I was born into a family steeped in faith, I would say. There is to be pujas, religious rituals, bhajans almost every other day in our house. So having born into such a family and sort of this being given to me from my family and society around me, I somehow grew with that over the years. And for close to 4 decades, I did not think much about it. It was something which I accepted and I went with the flow. I would say during the time when my son Vishnu had to join the school, the KFI, so that is the time actually I started questioning myself. There was a process of self-discovery and inquiry into what is faith for myself. So basically I would say I and Vishnu grew up together. And when I was in my 40s, and when he was in his teens, we used to have several conversations and sharings on faith. And most of these times, I was a student and a learner. After that, I think about 6-7 years back, I met you as a student in various places, like where did we meet first? Italy, then Germany, Switzerland, India, and now I'm very proud to say you're my daughter. So during the conversations with you over these 6 years, with conversations with Lucrezia Maniscotti, another Italian student of mine in Italy and in India, I think there has been a constant churning within me as to what faith is for me. And I would say that this process of self-discovery is very much on. And I'm trying to understand continuously what is faith for me. I have opened my mind and to interpretations which were beyond my perception some time back, to the fact that I today have faith in humanity, in mankind, and that love for people, the love for people around me is growing. And with these years of self-discovery, I've seen so many inconsistencies within my own self, the weaknesses. I think the process is very difficult but very beautiful, the process of self-discovery. Just to give you 3 examples, quick examples of my own personal experiences with faith. At a time when I was in a very plum merchant banking job at the age of 25, I had to decide that I want to come into music full time. So when I did that, when I took a plunge, went into music full time, the entire world was against me. My family, from my side, my in-laws' side, to a certain extent, even my wife was sort of influenced by them. So I was standing against an entire tsunami against me. But I had the faith. At that time, I had faith in God, in some force above me, that I will be able to do what I did. So this was the first time that strong faith which was there within me was manifested. But it is in that form. Many years down the line, when I created a corporatized version of Ambalam, when E-Ambalam was floated, and we were sort of expanding our activities across boundaries, across countries. There was so much of pressure, there was so much of rejection, there was so much of challenges we had to surmount. But that time I had faith in my own abilities and my hard work. I was very sure that if I believed in myself, my work, I could definitely make it. Come down many years now. I believe that, as I told you, I have faith in the humanity, in mankind. Today, over the period of so many years, there are so many people across religious communities who have worked with me and worked so closely that I do not believe that they are any different from me. When I worked with them, they are just humans as I am. So that acceptance is, the faith in them is something very special. In fact, when we went to all these villages, when you look at all the people from across various religious communities, there is just that simple innocence in them. There is nothing, there is no color, there is no thing. So that is beauty, that is mankind. We are coloring it with everything else and making faith look so bad and horrible. But people as such are very beautiful. So this is my experience and my journeys with faith.
Yeah, I think I
What
have
about
to.
your journeys? Why, can you tell me what you have grown up with and what you are today?
That will be a very interesting question, and probably a stark one to face. I also grew up in a very nominal background, I would say, with people around me, my parents, my grandparents, everybody certainly had a very deep kind of faith that they followed through their lives. But I feel probably since childhood, somehow I found myself as a rebel. I was a total rebellion. I would question and doubt everything. I mean, that's my profession now, to do that, to question. But it was to the level that I would have an aversion from anything that would go close to something where I'm not able to understand or explain it fully. So I would remember my mother singing songs of faith. Yeah, it's just so common in difficult days, in mundane days, in everyday life. It was just a common thing that they will celebrate their faith very, very strongly with certain kind of immovable conviction with it. I did not really understand it that time. I never had it, to be sure. I rather felt I can never probably get even close to that. So I would avoid it. Over the years, probably having traveled a lot now, having lived in almost 3 different continents and so many different countries, meeting so many people, I did find resonance to what you just said, that the emotion of faith actually is something that people carry very, very deep inside them, and it is very similar. It is very similar, that doesn't care about where they are from, what they are doing, or how well off they are in life, or which religion they belong to,
Very true.
there is no such discrimination in that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experienced that. If anything, I have experienced the faith that I see, or maybe I'm trying to approach in this work doing with you, is I have seen it through people. I have seen it very closely through you, through my parents, through some of the very dearest people I have in my life, and also my interaction with everyone around the world. But for myself, if I have to really answer this question honestly, I think my faith will be in honesty, in complete honesty, naked honesty, in love, and in being earnest. So all the things that I do that can get questioned, constantly they will get questioned because people will not understand. I still have this strong choice that I make, that I will still stand by my faith. I think faith is a choice, and also for the people who go through those hardships every day and we have no idea how they actually live their lives with so much of grace through it. I think faith gives a lot of strength. It gives hope. And I feel that's why it's one of the most important emotions that we need to understand better. We need to, if possible, isolate this emotion from all the societal and organized religious constructions that are built around it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Very true.
yes, that's where I'm coming from.
Wonderful, wonderful,
Yeah.
Bidisha.
So I want to ask you, do you think faith by itself is something which is divisive or really always separates people? Or can there be a concept of faith that we can look as an isolated thing from having it covered with the religious or societal dogmas always attached to it?
Look, Bidisha, we have taken on a very difficult subject, faith, because most often this subject is misconstrued, is misunderstood. The interpretations are sometimes different, but it is very important. It's very important. I reaffirm that it's very important that we have conversations about this. We are able to openly share what is there deep within, so that we are all together in this. It is not, we're not separated, but rather we understand each one's perspectives, and we can move on together. We can be a strong, vibrant society. There may be different types of people in terms of even a society. You can see different types of people. There may be some people who are total non-believers. They do not have any faith. They just shut off to the concept of faith.
I mean, you've been talking about faith in God or something of that sort.
Yes, basically, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's some people with no faith. There may be some others with faith, but it's very colored in things. So it's, I belong to this religious sect, and so this is the best religious sect. Everything else around that is not good. So they are very strong within their religious groupings. So this is another form of faith. There are some others who have faith, but they do not. It's very simple emotion of faith, which is absolutely doesn't have any color of religion or gender or geography. It is just that human feeling of hope, of that prayer. So there are so many others who have faith, but it's not religious in nature. There may be so many others. There may be intellectuals who might have read Upanishads, Vedas, Bible, Quran. They might have actually done a good research to understand what each text, religious text has to say. And with all that understanding, they may choose to have their own concept of faith. They may just refuse to have religious faith or faith on God, but they may have faith on, as you said, their earnesty, their honesty, their love, their effort, or faith on humanity. So there are various types
If
of
I may
people.
interrupt you, I feel there is the religious faith actually is a very major, complex aspect of how faith has been practiced, let me say. And I feel that, at least from most of this intellectual people, it's a very generalized word, I would say rather, but the people who have problem in accepting something which becomes so problematic to the society, it becomes a danger zone, and it becomes an area of discomfort where they are not able to appreciate the simple people who have the simple kind of faith. And right there, I think we lose a lot of empathy that is
Very true.
required for coexistence. Yes.
So basically, if you look at me, I told you I've grown into a family which has strong faith, and even today I have immense faith on God. And I'm very that way. If you look at it, I am also religious, but I'm also open-minded in trying to understand the other interpretations, the other perspectives of faith. I basically believe in one world, one people. We say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world having just one family, world being one family. That is so beautiful. Or in our prayers, sometimes we say Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. What is that? It's a prayer of love for the world. So why can't we spread love? Why can't we pray for all of us? For everyone, whether they're from this country or this religion or that religion or this state or that state. Why can't we pray for everyone's well-being? Actually, if we have that strong faith which binds all of us to help us get over our vulnerabilities, I think we can empower each one of us. We can actually become much stronger, and we can create a vibrant, happy, and a beautiful society.
I always feel very inspired by your approach to life and how positively and how openly you look at everything. I think there is this huge amount of complexity that really, makes the real consequences not match to the ideal things. Probably there will be no answer. There will be questions only, which
But this
do
is
not
a
have
good
any
beginning.
specific answers.
I'm not saying this is the only approach, but this faith project is a good beginning for all of us to start inquiring as to where our faith is. Understanding our own faith first, understanding our own selves before we even understand others. But in the process, we get to understand the world around us.
Yes, that will be really powerful.
Why don't you share how this entire project came about, this faith project? Where did it start?
Okay, so let's go back. I think to put it in a project form is rather a way to compile all the discussions and agreements and disagreements, all the grappling that we have had over the years. And I found, continuing from all our previous conversations, I found there is a dire need and scope of thinking into something such as faith, which is so integral to the human society. People know it or they don't know it, they want to have it or they don't want to have it. We cannot ignore this emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very severely baggaged with lot of dogmas around it. So I felt a need of communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And like for the both of us, seemingly coming from two opposite poles, I would say you steeped in faith in God, and I may be really quite nervous about putting myself into such a context. But knowing you very closely and knowing my own questions and having very direct interactions with a lot of people and finding a certain need of having respect for those who carry faith and the faith gives them the strength to deliver to life. I felt it was a very, very need that motivated me to even ask you that can we look at it, can we put it as a work together?
Yeah,
And you coming from a
basically,
musical.
yeah. So for me also, when I grew up, I always grew up with singing these devotional songs, and it is to resonate very deeply within me. It was my dream to sing songs from across the country, songs of faith across the country. I always dreamt, and somehow it all came together because this journey of mine, which I told you, the experiences I've had over the various years with people, and my own learnings from that, and the challenges which I faced, and how I overcame that with faith, and my newer understanding of life and my own self, I thought it's a right time to actually think about this project, the faith project. Especially this year, the 75th year Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav happening, I thought, why not celebrate the people of the land, the faith of the people of the land? Because that's a beautiful way of celebrating India, celebrating the people of India through the faith, through their songs of faith, because music is something which resonates with everyone. It's so easily understood. It can transcend barriers of language or anything. So anyone can understand emotions of music, the emotions through music. So I thought it's a beautiful opportunity to put together this faith project with the music of the peoples of the land, so that we can celebrate them as Indians, as humans of the world. I mean, it's much larger than just Indians. We are all together. But this project is about celebrating those people.
Yeah, I would say we had to put it in a project format so that we could realize to some extent, but it's more than a project for me personally. I think it's going to be a project for life, and it's not a 12-month thing. But really looking forward to this 12-month of
And looking
work.
forward to the conversations and various other initiatives which this is going to sort of lead to, the faith project, not just the music. I want all of the people to understand that there are various layers to the project, and I want them to sort of participate with us in this process.
We are collecting stories, we are collecting life lessons and experiences from people from across the lands, and it has been such an amazing experience going to the doorstep of people and seeing the simplicity and warmth with which they welcome you, and they share openly. And I think only conversations and music and trying to put it all together, it just gives a lot of hope, and I think
Sure.
faith is hope.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you the most important part of this project, the musical part of this project. What can people expect from you?
The songs which I have selected for this project are the songs of the land. Very simple songs which resonate with everyone, resonates deeply with everyone. There is no classification as classical or non-classical. They are simple songs of faith which everyone sings. The housewives, our grandmothers, or farmers, or anyone, all of us. It resonates so deeply within us. To give you an example, my father was a banker. He was a great singer. He was a Bhagavatar, Bhajana Sampradaya exponent. But a banker by profession, he composed a lot of songs, and some songs were in Tulu. You don't get to hear Tulu songs very often. Just for you to understand how a simple song can resonate with every one of us. Yer yank gati iren budunda ಮುರಳೀಧರ ಗೋಪಾಲ ஏறுயங்கு கதி ஈரன புடுடா முரளீதர கோபால. It says, who's there apart from you, O Muralidhara Gopala? If you are not there, where is the refuge? What is my gati without you? So it's a very simple song, but the emotion is so strong there. So songs like this, the first song which we have selected, which I have selected for this
I will
project.
ask you one question
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Do you think, being a classical musician, so-called classical, it's a big word and we put a lot of definitions around it. But say I take that and I'm asking you, as a classical musician, was it a lot of breaking some kind of shell to come out and sing these songs?
These songs come naturally to me. So I don't think you need to break out of any shell. You just need to open your mind and be able to sing. Because it's not about coming from some sort of background where I need to get down and look at this foster child and try to adopt it. No, you need to be able to just resonate with these songs. That is the beauty of it. So for me, it was something which is very natural, very natural. So the first song which I've selected for this project, and thanks to you for training me well in that, is a Bengali song, Shokoli Tomari Ichha.
Tell us a little bit about the process of your internalizing.
Yeah. So basically, this belongs to the popular genre of Shama Shongit, where it is a devotional genre of Bengal. And they also call it the Ramprasadi.
Incidentally,
it's
maybe Ramprasadh singing something so Ramprasadi.
It's called a Ramprasadi Sangeet there, where every household knows this song. And this song basically, actually, I would say, very well represents the faith project, because the words, I will just sing the song so that but I would like you to give an interpretation to that, because the faith project actually represents this very song. So I've selected this particular song, Shokoli. Shokoli tomari ichha, ichha moi tara tumi, তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করি আমি, সকলি তোমারি ইচ্ছা, ইচ্ছা মই তারা তুমি মা, সকলি তোমারি ইচ্ছা, ইচ্ছা মই তারা তুমি মাগো, সকলি সকলি তোমারি ইচ্ছা, ইচ্ছা মই তারা তুমি, তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করি আমি. So why don't you say what it means?
First of all, it is so hard for me to even believe that you learned this song from me, and how much of time we spent in getting a full feeling of this song. The song literally means what he just sang, the two lines, Shokoli tomari ichha, ichha moi tara tumi. So the one in faith is telling the Mother Kali, who is also known as Tarama, it is all your will, O Mother. You are the willful Mother Kali. Tomar kormo tumi koro ma, loke bole kori ami. Your work you keep doing, O Mother, but people think and say that I am doing it. So for me and us, I think how it's a very, very wholesome devotional song where somebody steeped in the faith of Mother Kali is accepting her prowess, and to be able to do that, to be able to find that kind of
To find that
acceptance.
submission, and that we will do what we can. We will be graceful for what we receive. I mean, that's such a beautiful feeling.
It is beautiful as well as it is quite powerful, I have to
Mhm.
say, because to be honest, this song kind of summarizes that nothing is in my control or nothing is in our control.
Mhm. We
It-
keep thinking it's our everything is in our control and keep struggling, but there's
I mean, we
no
have
reason
to be
for.
ambitious, we have to be trying, we have to be persistent and perseverant in trying to do what all we can do. But if we really look at from the larger picture, the real picture, how things happen, how much of it is in our control, really?
Very true.
How we have taken this song is from a very honest attempt of finding that place of faith that somebody has found in finding that acceptance. It may be a lot of things that may be happening to us that we cannot accept. They may seem unfair, they may seem not reasonable, but to continue with life, to be able to thrive beyond those limitations, those challenges, it requires a lot of strength.
Very
And there
true.
is no harm in finding that strength from faith. As long as it is as inclusive, I think it is just a powerful emotion to have. And we can be more and more empathetic to it. So we started this journey of recording the Shokali Tomari song in Bengal. And if you would like to share some of your experiences from
So we started
that
it in Bangalore.
interaction.
We recorded it in Prabhat recording studio with some amazing musicians. The entire music was arranged for this song was arranged by the famous music composer Praveen D. Rao. And we took that music to Bengal, to the border of Bangladesh, Jiaganj and Azimganj, where the Ganga flows between these two towns. And it was so beautiful that the place, the surroundings, it's basically rural Bengal. And
The people we met there.
yeah, the experiences were very, very real. In fact, what we intended, we could actually see the people from very, very close. We had a wonderful team from Kolkata, the Whitehole Creations, headed by Shamik Roy Chowdhury. A wonderful team of 5 professionals who came there for the videography. And yeah, it's been visualized and captured. So
We have a beautiful storyline that
yes, they have created around the
stitches
song.
the song.
Yes, this first song will be released on 31st of August. The idea is to release one song every month for the next 12 months. So the other songs will be from different parts of India. We'll be taking it to various parts where we will be picturizing these songs. And the music in these songs are very simple, unsophisticated. It captures the raw emotion which we want to portray. There is no sophistication. It's very simple and beautiful music.
So I really want to thank you for taking me along with you in this journey. This faith project is really about celebrating and exploring one of the most integral emotions that so many of us carry. It will be having a lot of music from the soil, many songs, 12 of them we will record, but many songs we will see around it, many stories, conversations, perspectives, and we will document and film it as much as possible and share with you all. So do join us.
It is just a beginning. We have started something, set the ball rolling. So come together, let's partner together, let's have some conversations. Let's make it a movement. Thank you. Thank you, Bidisha.